who in 20 days from now, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Ram Mandir, and massive preparations are still underway in the temple town of Ayodhya. But we are joined by KK Muhammed, former Regional Director, North Archaeological Survey of India, who was part of the team of archaeologists in the 70s that had carried out the first excavation at the site between 76 and 77. KK Muhammed ji, Namaste, Jai Hind, and thank you very, very much. You first witnessed the remains of the Ram temple under the Babri Masjid in Ayodhya. So when you first visited the site as an archaeologist, what was your impression, first impression, given the long-running religious dispute around this? And also, can you share with us some of the important details unearthed?
Yes, sir. Because I had participated in the excavation in the year 1976-77 under Professor BB Lal. Because Professor BB Lal was earlier the Director General of Archaeological Survey of India, and he had taken up this site for the excavation work. And before the excavation, we go for exploration of the site. And when we went inside, we saw that the pillars on which the mosque was standing, that had a number of Hindu symbols on it, and especially Purna Kalasha was this one engraved on that one, which is one of the Ashta Mangala Chinnas in Hinduism. That is 8 auspicious symbols in Hinduism. So it was very clear for us that it was part of the Hindu temple. And if you have any doubt, even now you can go to Quwwatul Islam, which is just by the side of Qutub Minar, where you can see a number of things like this one. You can see Purna Kalasha, you can see a number of idols also in that one. Not 10, 15, 16, there are a number of things even now there. So that is one thing. And then there were certain sculptures also which was later on defaced. That was also observed during our survey work. Then the third point was when Professor Lal excavated the western side and the southern side of it. The pillar bases on which the pillar should have stood, that was also excavated. And along with that one, a number of sculptures, that is terracotta sculptures that were associated with the temple was also excavated. So these were the 4 points on the basis of which Professor Lal had come to the conclusion that there was a temple before the mosque. But the problem was, because that was 1976-77, it was not a big issue at that time, although it was some controversial point, it was not a very big issue at that time. What these communist historians of JNU and Aligarh Muslim University has done is, they went to the press and they gave a statement from their own side that Lal had excavated the site and he did not get anything associated with the temple at all. And hence there is no question of handing over the site to the Hindu community for the construction of the temple. So that was their statement. First of all, none of them were archaeologists, they were all simply historians. None of them had visited the site during the excavation. None of them had visited the site even after the excavation also. And they had no competence to speak on a technical subject like archaeology. So Professor Lal had to defend himself. He came forward and for the first time he gave a statement saying, no, we have excavated and we have got a number of things associated with the temples. At that time I was working in Madras. So I gave a statement from there, from Madras. No, I had worked along with Professor Lal, and whatever Professor Lal has stated, that is fully correct, and the statement of the communist historians are completely false. That was one thing, one part of my statement, and it was published in Indian Express on 15th of December 1990. And the second part of my statement was that Ayodhya is as important for Hindus as Makkah and Medina are for Muslim community. Hence, Muslims should willingly hand over the entire site for Hindu community to construct a magnificent temple.
Okay.
So this was totally my statement, which of course, because it was the whole entire communist group was completely shattered. They had no reply at all for these things, because it is, a man who participated in the excavation was speaking here, and that to a man who is Muslim by religion, he is speaking.
Right.
And these people had made the statement without coming to the site and without seeing the site, and they had no domain competence to speak on a technical subject like archaeology. So that created the first stage, this one. And the second excavation was carried out under Dr. B.R. Mani. That was Dr. Mani is a seasoned archaeologist again, like Professor BB Lal, and he is a very sober person also.
Yes.
So in the second excavation, we had got only 12 pillars at that time, but in the second excavation, more than 50 pillars bases were excavated, and that too in 17 rows, stating that it was a magnificent temple. So that was one thing. And the second thing is a number of things associated. The amalka, on the top of the temple there would be amalka, just below the kalasha. That was excavated from below the mosque. And then a number of other architectural members associated with shigara of the temple, that was also excavated from below the mosque. And then there was a pranala. Pranala means every day you have to bathe the main deity, and that Abhisheka Jala goes through the pranala, and that is always Magara pranala. What is Magara? Magara is crocodile. Crocodile in Hinduism is a symbol of river Ganga.
Right.
So that was excavated.
So all these excavations happened, Dr. KK Muhammed, but you once mentioned to somebody, Loka samagramevapi sampasyan kartum arhasi, chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita. What was that about?
That was to R.C. Tripathi. He was the Secretary of Culture.
Ji.
So, because he questioned me, because my probation period was not over at that time. I was working in Madras at that time. That was when I was deputy superintending archaeologist. So he questioned me, how did you make such a statement? It is such a sensitive issue. You should not have made a statement like this because you are a government servant. And he was right, perfectly right. He should have taken action against me. And he, along with him, Dr. M.C. Joshi was also there. He was the Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. So I just quoted this one sentence from the scriptures. Loga samgrahame vapi sambhashyan kartum arhasi. Sir, I had no other intention, but I just wanted to speak certain things for the welfare of the country, for the betterment of the humanity. That was my intention.
Yes.
So that actually further provoked him. He told me, I am a Brahmin from this one Allahabad, and now you are teaching me Sanskrit. I am going to suspend you right now here itself. So then I quoted another Sanskrit sentence. I said, so dharme nidanam shreya. I had done my duty, and for which even death is also welcome.
Acceptable. Same.
Death
Chapter
is
3.
also welcome. So that completely changed the man, because he said, well, Mr. Muhammad, you have done the right thing. It is known to all of us, but it should have been spoken by an archaeologist. You are an archaeologist. It should have been spoken by a Muslim archaeologist, and happily you are a Muslim archaeologist. But I am under pressure to take action against you. But some of the, this one top IAS officers, Mahadevan was there. He was very much senior to this one Tripathi, and then some of the professors from this one Madras University. They intervened, and my suspension was converted into a kind of transfer from Madras Circle to Goa Circle. So that was the thing.
But KK Muhammed ji, you not only can quote the scriptures, the Hindu scriptures, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, but you also have, and you understand Islam. Let me ask you, currently the issues under litigation, Gyanvapi and Krishna Janmabhoomi, what's your opinion there?
Now, actually, these two places also, because yeah, I have worked in all these places. In the other place also, that is Gyanvapi also, and then Mathura also, and these three places are again as important for Hindu community as Makkah and Medina are for Muslims. So this is a right time for the Muslim community. They should willingly hand it over to Hindu community for constructing a magnificent temple, because you have historical evidences there. There is a book known as Maasire Alangiri.
Yes.
Maasire Alangiri was, that was written during the time of this one Aurangzeb, in which he has spoken, the author of the book. So he has spoken about the destruction of both these places. And it is very well evident also. Anybody who visits all these places, it is very well evident also. So these three places should be. No, I am totally against it, because Masjid Shaheed ho gaya. Ye sab jo na, they could.
No, so that's what I want to understand. Political leaders wanting to inflame passions. They're saying Masjid Shaheed ho gaya, mosques have been dug up, Masjid khod di gayi, etc. Do you agree with such people?
No, I am totally against it, because Masjid Shaheed ho gaya, ye sab jo na, they could have said earlier, but now it is not like that. Because the big problem is there, and the country has to settle this issue. And for settling the issue, it is both the communities, whether it is Hindus or Muslim, they should come together. They should not use that kind of provocative words like this. एक शहीद मस्जिद शहीद हो गया या दूसरा भी शहीद होने वाले हैं. These are certain historical events, and I admit the fact that when the Islam came to India, a number of temples were destroyed, and Muslims also, I feel that Muslims also should admit it, and that will give a healing touch to the Hindu community also. So that healing touch has to start from the Muslim community. So it is an opportunity for them in order to understand their own background also, and also provide a healing touch to the Hindu community.
My final question, KK Muhammed ji, with the promise that we will continue to have more conversations thus, that who is Ram for Bharat? Why is Ram in every corner of our country?
Yes, because Ram is a unifying point, and he is a Maryada Purusha also. A Maryada Purusha, that is Shri Ram. And he is a unifying force not only from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, but also of the entire Asia. You go to Bali, there you have got Ramana is there.
Yes.
Go to Indonesia. Go to this one, other countries like Indonesia, Malaysia,
Thailand,
then Vietnam, Cambodia. In all these countries, the story is there. Even Malaysia also. Malaysia is an Islamic country.
Correct.
But they are enacting the whole Ram Leela. So he is a unifying force for the entire Asian countries. And Allama Iqbal had said once, within quote, है राम के वजूद पे हिंदुस्तान को नाज, है राम के वजूद पे हिंदुस्तान को नाज, अहले नजर समझते हैं उनको इमाम हिंद.
जी.
तो it is Imam Hind. That is what Iqbal had said, and Iqbal was the philosophical father of Pakistan.
Yes.
So we should understand that he represents for the country. He is a Maryada Purusha. And we should respect him like that, and we should follow on his footprints. That is the best policy for the country.
KK Muhammed ji, thank you very, very much for speaking with us here on The Right Stand, here on CNN News 18. I look forward to many more engaging conversations. You've done some phenomenal work with restoring